How's it going, guys? Sparky here from NoNamed Gaming, and we are back with some more F1 career mode. So last race, we took on Bahrain. If you haven't watched it, make sure to go back and check out that video. It's a really good race. We found out the car has some decent speed. We got a really good start to the race and ended up finishing in P4, but thanks to my senseless penalties that I had, we ended up getting bumped down to P8. Regardless, it was a points finish. So taking a look at the standings, kind of to recap things, we are sitting 8th in the Constructors and 13th in the Drivers' Championship. Our teammate, though, Jack Aiken, still without a point. It's only 2 races in. So now getting into things, we don't have enough team acclaim yet to get a 3rd sponsor. We're very, very close, though. So hopefully we can do that soon. Engine wear is all right. It's not too bad. Overall wear is 25%. We have a whole bunch of upgrades trying to go down on the car here. We've got the aero, we've got a powertrain durability. Actually, we have 2 aero and then chassis. So we're going to see what's going to come through. Taking a look at facilities, I don't think that we're able to upgrade anything quite yet. Actually, we can do resource management points Actually, we can do most of these. We're going to go for the resource points because I want to be able to try and upgrade the car a little bit faster. So we'll do that for the durability. So now getting into activities, we have 9 days. That is awesome. So we're going to do some, let's do sponsor promotion. Let's do durability. We don't want to do chassis focus. We can do, we'll do an F1. There we go. Let's do the driver claim because that'll help us out. Oh, you've got to be kidding. That leaves us with 1 day. Well, we're going to stick with that because we can get the extra money in there. We have a comment here from Carl. Carl saying that we're still the second to worst last car on the grid. And let's see how everything goes. We get 1 thing in there. Lose a little bit of cash. We get some. All right, so it looks like, let's see if the durability upgrade goes on. It failed. That's disappointing. So hang on, let's go see how much it costs. Do we have enough points to put that back in? We do. So that'll go on, it looks like it'll be in time for the Chinese Grand Prix. All right, so let's get down to the field for the first ever Vietnam Grand Prix. This is gonna be a really interesting race. We don't have the straight line speed down that back stretch, so I bet we're gonna get blown by in that. Hopefully the corners help us out though. So I'll see you guys down for qualifying. All right, so real quick, at the end of FP1, I was approached here and asked, who is going to be my rival? We said we're going against Williams, so you know what, for consistency's sake, I think we could take Romain Grosjean, but for consistency, let's go with Nicholas Latifi. Plus, it's a lower difficulty for right now. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. It's very early on, but I think one of the 2 choices here, I'm thinking either I'm already with the best team, so things are going to go great, or with a great team like this, I can't fail. We're going to go with that one and try and boost our team acclaim a little bit. Yeah, so we didn't record FP1, but the corners are so tight around here, the walls are so narrow, there's not a lot of room, but it's trying to make me pinpoint something with my team. We're gonna just no comment, try not to bring anybody down. So here we go, guys, on board for our first qualifying lap at Vietnam. As you can tell, nice and wet here. So we're gonna find out what the car is like in the intermediate conditions. A little slow on the outlap. It felt like we're losing the back end through turns 1 and 2. But there we go, we finally get it under control. This very early on in qualifying, so the only ones on the track right now, I think, is one of the Ferraris, Magnussen and myself. We're losing Magnussen just a little bit here, but I feel like as it goes further on, we're going to get more comfortable with the wet conditions. It is supposed to be dry on Sunday, so we should be all in the clear. We did not go with a wet setup, we did a dry setup for 7 wings. So we're going for kind of the middle ground. These really long straights, we need as little drag as possible. But the technical sections, I'm really slow in. So Sector 2 is not my strong suit. So that's going to be something interesting to see what happens on race day, if that's really going to hold us back. So now into the hairpin, going around to the back end of the track. A little too hard on the throttle getting out, so Magnussen losing us a little bit, but that's okay. This first lap, just to get a feel for the track in the wet conditions. I don't think it'll be too bad, though. I mean, we're keeping up with Magnussen. We're keeping the AI on 80, same as Bahrain. I don't think we're going to have a same result as Bahrain, because when we went through FP1, we didn't do the qualifying sim. We ended up going into 12th. So I think that's kind of where the natural pace of the car is for here. We're still working on upgrading. We got a chassis upgrade. We got a downforce upgrade, both on the car for this. And we actually end up setting the second best lap right now out of 3 cars. So let's head on back to the pit, and then we'll see if we can set another time. So here we are at lap number 2 in qualifying 1. We're going to try and set a little bit of a faster time, see if we can push into Q2. Car feels a lot better here on the second lap, as you can see we got 1 minute left. As you can see, the racing line drying up a little bit. We're even getting a much faster start here. Already 0.2 up as we go through sector 1. And so now into the long straight here, almost half a second up. So yeah, I mean, things just feel a lot better here. I think this lap is definitely going to help, but everybody else is going to be coming out to set a second lap as well. So it's definitely going to be interesting as we see Ricardo ahead of us in 7th, Lando Norris right ahead in 8th. Losing the back end a little bit, half a second up though. And we lose some of that time on a poor exit there as we go onto the long back straight towards the hairpin. But if we can hit that turn right, we should be able to gain a ton of time. And especially through the third sector, as Kevin Magnussen was starting to hold us up a little bit towards the end of that lap. So now into the hairpin. Nice and easy. Don't want to go too hard out of this. We got a lot of time here. This is awesome. So we're going to be almost a second up over our previous time at the start of this session. But is it going to be enough to get us through into Q2? We'll find out here in just a couple more turns. Got to be careful on the corners. Don't want to go too quick, otherwise we're going to lose the back end. We're over a second, penultimate corner coming in. Got to take that really slow in the intermediate compared to the dry. And now here we go, final corner. If we can get a good run, and we do, up to the line, and it is going to be second place. All right, so I guess the others didn't set a time. Let's go take a peek real quick after Q1 here. So it doesn't tell us who set a second time, but it doesn't look like the higher guys went out and set a second lap. Ferrari kind of stuck with where they were at. Mercedes looks like they did 2. So all the top teams making it through to Q2. We lose our teammate though, Jack Aitken, in P21. So let's head in for Q2, see if we can get into that top 10 shootout. So here we are on board for our only lap of Q2. The weather conditions lightened up a little bit here towards the end of this session, so we're going to try and take advantage of it. A little bit of a slow turn 1, but we're going to see if we can pick up some time here in corner number 2. So the only set of intermediates that we had left, the fresh set at least, we had worn intermediates because we used 2 during Q1. Didn't want to try and run a second one and end up setting a weak time. So here we are, only chance to make it out of Q2 into Q3. It's going to be tough. Take that chicane a little narrow, but we thankfully don't get disqualified from this session for that. Little loose. There we go. Get out of the corner. Get some speed onto that back straight. Hopefully we get a nice quick time here. So far, not too bad. That second sector, though, all those very technical corners, that's where I really lose a lot of time. Those slow speed corners really get me. Now coming into the hairpin, if I can hit this right, he carries the speed, but very loose as I hit the brakes and lose part of the front wing. And we see a lot of fast times getting set as I think it was Bottas and then Ricardo getting the pole, or provisional pole, because we are only in Q2. Oh, Bottas gets up there, so I misread the one before. We get a slow section now. Yeah, it's going to be a little rough. We might not make it out of Q2 thanks to that hit on the front wing. But coming into the penultimate corner, we see some things shake up ahead. Vettel drops to P14. So with Leclerc in 13, we're going to come up to the line around the final corner, lay onto the gas, and it is going to be 5th place. Wow, so we make it through to the top 10 shootout in Q3. Don't know how, I guess it's the wets. Taking a look, yeah, we end up setting a really solid time. The intermediate conditions, I guess, is good for us, not so good for the AI. But Q3 it is for the second time this season, I think, because I think we did in Australia. So here we are on board for our only lap of Q3. We waited long enough, and the dry conditions are here. Although it's still raining a little bit. Actually, it looks like it just stopped. But the car is still a little loose at times. The track must be very, very cool at this point. We see Max Verstappen set a 142. We've been setting like 155s throughout this whole thing due to the rain. So we'll see what our car can do all the way out here in max fuel mix and hot lap battery. Coming around sector 2, not too bad, it felt all right. Still a little on the slow end, but onto the back straight, we get a decent exit. And holy cow, the track is heating up. A 140 from Valtteri Bottas. Up to the DRS, we're gonna see how fast we can kick this thing. We've gotten up to like 205, I think, in terms of miles per hour. We peak at 206, not bad at all. Into the hairpin. Got to be careful on the exit. Sometimes I hit it a little too hard. Hit it pretty good there. So now coming into the third sector, can we get this nice and smooth? A chance to really move up the order here and possibly catch some of the teams napping here through the S's. And we catch that corner again. We did that during qualifying too. And like I was saying back during the interview after FP1, the walls are so narrow here that I have that issue. I like to run the car a little wide at times. We saw that during Bahrain. They definitely punished me for it. But coming up to the line here, it's going to be a P3. Wow, that's a lot better than I think it should be, but we'll take it. All right, so before we head down to the track for race day, we're going to take a quick look at our R&D chart. We have some points to work with. We put in that, I think that failed durability to get that upgraded. Taking a look at things, I think what we're going to do is go for a chassis upgrade because we have an aerodynamic one coming on here soon, but we're still way behind the midfield teams in terms of chassis, so we definitely want to get that caught up. We're going to go for the weight reduction so we can get a little bit lighter through the corners. 38% failure chance. Hopefully we can get that through. Taking a look at the R&D chart. Whoops, there's the R&D chart. We still currently are the second worst car on the grid, so I think I need to bump the difficulty up to 85 for the Chinese Grand Prix. See if we can level things out, but we'll see if we can hold on to the points here. We got points last race at Bahrain. We'll see if we can get a repeat performance here in Vietnam. So I'll see you guys down on the grid. All right, I guess my P3 start isn't too bizarre because the AlphaTauris did get into the top 10, and we saw the Ferraris out of this one. So taking a look at the strategy, we're going to switch to personalized. They are going to be giving me the two-stop. So that's going to be pretty interesting. We're going to go soft, soft, medium. We get the free choice of tire because of the intermediate conditions during Q2. So that's going to be interesting. Even the alternate strategy is the two-stop. So it's instead of mediums, it's hards, which makes no sense. You would just take the hards, the mediums to the end there. But we're going to go two-stop, soft, soft, hard, medium. Sorry, I said hard already. So we're going to back off the fuel a little bit and under-fuel it. Hopefully that helps us out to be able to be a little bit lighter through some of these corners. But we're going to try something different this race. Instead of doing a live commentary, we're going to do some post-commentary. So I'll talk to you guys after the race, but during the race, you'll see how it goes. All right, so here we are on the grid of the Vietnam Grand Prix. 5 red lights, and away we go from third place, the second row of the grid. I don't know if it's going to stay that way throughout the season, but a pretty good start here. So we're going to look for the outside of Bottas, but it doesn't look like we've got the grip to be able to hold on. Him and Verstappen are going at it through corners 1 and 2. We're going to try and hold Hamilton behind us. We make the move here as he's going to be able to be in 4th place. We got Lando Norris behind him, but we're doing a pretty good job early on through Lee's first sector, going through what will be the first DRS zone. Bottas really starting to spread the gap on us, and it looks like Hamilton going on the outside, going to try and make the move, but we have a little bit of pace. We're going to go a little late on the brakes, and somehow he doesn't get the move done, so we hold on to P3 for the moment. Skipping ahead to lap number 2, down the first DRS zone straight. We're going to be able to hold on to the position, keeping Hamilton behind us, but how much longer is that going to last? Our gap to Bottas now just under, nope, back over 1 second, so it looks like we're really losing time on the top 2 runners. And we're not a front-running car, so don't expect this to last too long. Here comes Hamilton. He is blazing up behind us so fast as the time is just draining away. He's going to go for the outside, which is going to be the inside of the hairpin. We're going to try and go late on the brakes, but he dive bombs it, and he's going to get that position. We can't get the switch back on him, and so we drop down to P4. We're going to try and hold on to the position, though. Looking to see if we can use some slipstream on him. Going around the corner, we take it wide, and I think that's really going to be what he needs to spread it out from us, as now through the fast corners. Yeah, we are a little loose here, and so he's able to really open up this gap as he's going to hunt down his teammate for 2nd place. So now ahead to lap number 3. Lando Norris taking it real fast around the outside. DRS enabled for him. We have DRS. We're a little late to activate it. So now we're going to try and maybe look for the dive bomb, but he's too far away. Now just to run a nice smooth line behind him, see if we can keep up. But he gets a really good exit out of the hairpin. We end up falling behind by about a half second. We're going to try and catch him up through the 3rd sector, one that's pretty strong for us. So we're going to get into the high speed turns here, the quick S's. He's going to be able to spread this gap a little bit. We go pretty tight around the corners, not too bad. So we're going to have DRS down the start-finish straight. We're going to try and see if we can keep up with him and make a move to get him back and get back to P4. Right now sitting in P5. We've got a good gap behind us, though. Lance Stroll over a second away. So we're pretty comfortable here in the top 5. So here we are at lap number 6, getting very close to Lando Norris. We're within 0.3 of a second, but we go wide out of the corner. We end up hitting our wing off the wall, so that's going to cause some damage. It looks like we're going to try and set up to get it repaired on our pit. Again, we are doing two stops today, so we're going to get another set of softs, and then we're going to switch to the mediums for the final stint, but really losing a lot of time on Lando on that straight, so we go really late on the brakes, trying to see if we can close that gap, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough as he's able to spread it out. We're kind of stuck in no man's land right now. So here we are on the back end of lap number 9. This is going to be our pit lap. We're coming in for a set of softs. Again, we're doing that 2-stop strategy, but the thing is, well, 2 things, really. Lando Norris flying away from us now, almost 5.5 seconds down the road. Actually, just hit that part. but we are also going to be changing our front wing because we took damage quite a while earlier. Still trying to save some fuel as we're just barely underfueled at the moment, but it should work its way out. So here we go, coming into the stop. Hopefully we can make it quick and come out in decent position, even though we are changing the front wing. Getting blown by, we're dropping to P8. And actually, Jack Aiken doubling up on the pit stop. Oh, that's not going to be good considering we are changing the front wing. You don't want to double up anyway, but it makes it even worse because now we're going to be even slower in the stop. It's going to be about 8.5 seconds, so not terrible, but we end up losing our spot to Sebastian Vettel. So we drop behind the Ferrari. That's going to leave us in P12. Our teammate Jack is going to be really screwed on that one. So now coming out of the pits, we're going to have Romain Grosjean behind us, but we're on a pair of fresh softs, so we shouldn't have too much trouble from here. So another round of drivers came in for their stops. We are now up to P8, so we jumped a handful of positions, but still kind of in no man's land as Sebastian Vettel still over 2 seconds up the road. But Charles Leclerc coming up fast. He's going to fly by us here soon, probably. We're against a Ferrari. We're the second worst car on the grid. I don't know if we're going to be able to put up much of a fight here, especially into the straight line speed as he is closing in on this back straight fast. Coming towards the hairpin, we're going to block the inside. He's going to try and go outside late on the brakes, and he's going to get a little bit of traction there. He gets a good exit, and that's going to be P9 for us. So we end up dropping down the order. Now Alexander Albon really close, within a second away here into the third sector. Here we are just a little bit over a lap later, and we've got Albon trying to close in here. He can't seem to get that within a half second, so we're still doing all right. Right behind Charles Leclerc, we've got a DRS for the moment, but is he going to be able to pull away from us around this corner? He's got about a 7/10 lead. He really darts out of the corner and is going to fly away, but it's going to be enough for us to get DRS. However, Albon right behind, he's got the slipstream flying up behind us. The gap is closing so quickly. We're going to have to try and block the inside. He's going to try and go in, then out. He's going to get the outside lane, but will we be able to hold it off as we go pretty late on the brakes? He gets a little bit of physical with us and ends up making contact. We hold through the hairpin, and we're going to be right there, trying to hold on to P9. We're right there on the edge of points. He ends up falling behind us as we get a solid exit out of the hairpin, but now into Sector 3. We're trying to keep up with Charles Leclerc to be able to hold on to DRS, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen now as he's almost a second and a half up the road. We're trying to put some space between us and Albon, but he's still right there on our tail, following us through the quick corners here. Now into the penultimate corner. We're really going to have to fly out of this last corner to be able to get some distance between the two of us. So here we go on to the start-finish straight. He'll have DRS. He's almost a half a second away, so we're pretty good there. We're going to check on our teammate real quick. And it looks like Jack Aiken pretty far behind. He is in P20, just in front of the Williams at this point. So now coming around the second turn here. Nice long one. It's a little slower, though, because you do have to take it wide in order to get in for the quick turns there onto the DRS straight. But he's going to have DRS, and he's going to come flying up once again. Goes inside. We don't block it well, and he's going to have us no problem. We're going to try and stick on the outside, but he makes that move stick really well through the quick chicane. And so now there's not much we can do as we don't have that straight line speed, but if we can get DRS and maybe a little bit of strip speed, we can get some luck here. Onto the long straight here. We've got some to work with. We're into overtake. We're going to get the DRS. Will we be able to catch up with him, though? It is a very fast Red Bull car, but we're going to be able to get moving. We go inside, squeezing it in there. We're going to get ahead. We're going to try and go late on the brakes, and we block him off on the hairpin, but really late as we end up overshooting the corner. And now he is going to go right back on us there through a switchback. And so it is P10, and it looks like he might be able to have that move stick as we're still going to try and catch up through this third sector. But a rough exit there, he starts to pull away. So it looks like P10 is where we're going to sit for the moment being. So here we are on lap 14. We see Albon past Gasly, so we're going to try and make our move here on the AlphaTauri. We're quick through this third sector, so it might work out in our favor as we're going to try and make a move. Actually, he gets a DNF here as his engine fails on him, so we're going to get the free spot into P number 9. And so now trying to hunt down Albon, but we got Lance Stroll behind us, so it's going to be a fun race here as we just kind of sit in no man's land. Hopefully, we can hold on and get the points. We still have about half the race to go. We've got one more stop. I think everybody does. It looks like most people are doing the 2-stop, the soft, medium strategy. Kind of the way to go. So we'll see if we're able to close the gap on Albon at all, or if we're just going to sit steady where we're at in a little bit of a wide exit. And we do this so many times. We make so many simple mistakes when it comes to our driving, whether it's cutting the corners or going wide on the exits and stuff like that. And here we are, our front wing damaged once more. So we are going to have to replace it probably on the next pit, which is going to slow us down even more. That could be the points for us today. We might have just cost ourselves a 1-point finish, maybe even 2 if we would be able to hold on tonight. So we've got a little bit more time before we make the pit stop, but I mean, it's not looking good from here. Skipping ahead here to lap 16, going through the first sector up to the DRS zone. Lance Stroll caught up to us very quickly as we're a bit slower now through the technical sections due to that front wing damage. He's going to go on the outside, and then that Mercedes engine blows past us and no problem. We can't even look for a dive bomb there as he just got so much gap on us. We're going to see if we can get the DRS, though, on the back straight here. We're going to close up on him. He pulls away really quick, and we're just really slow out of that exit. If we can get a little bit more power down a little earlier, we'll be able to keep pace, at least getting onto the straight, but we're really far behind now, half a second. We're not going to be able to make a move here into the hairpin, but we'll at least be able to close the gap some. So here we go, going in. We're going to try and close up, going a little soft on the brakes into the corner. We close it up nicely, but we get a really decent exit, and so we're going to try and hold on. Carlos Sainz, though, closing in. He is just about a second away now into the third sector. We've got overtake on, trying to see if that'll help us out as we get the gap nice and close up into his gearbox. And another wild exit there results in more front wing damage. And so that is really going to hold us back. And that I think we can confirm that today we will not be finishing the points, especially after an exit like that. Man, this race went from bad to worse. Not only do we have to replace the front wing twice, but now we're just driving like a maniac around Sector 3 here on lap 16. So we're basically going to concede the position here to Carlos Sainz because we've got no pace at this point without like half of our front wing. So now we're going around turn 2. We're really wide. Sainz trying to look for the gap, doesn't get it. He's going to come out again. We try to cut him off, but he ends up clipping our back end. He does hold on, though, for the position here. We get the warning for the collision with Sainz, and there's the DRS kicking in. So a little bit of a wild first sector there. We end up keeping it without having to spin out, but now that is another incident we've had with Sainz. We seem to keep running into him, but now if we actually hold on to the position, we cut the corner really, really tight. So now onto the back straight. He's going to get the DRS again, and there's really not much we can do. We're trying to block him, but he ends up edging his nose in just a little bit, and he's going to fly away. We're going to try and hold on for some slipstream using all of the battery, and we're going to go really late on the brakes. No, we're actually going to go a little soft because we don't have much room. We don't have the front wings, so we really can't make a move onto the exit, and he gets a really nice one. That's pretty much all we have left for the moves, but we got Esteban Ocon now closing in. Again, our stop coming up very, very soon as we try to go on the inside. Don't see anything on the exit. We're going to stick right behind him, but it's really hard, these fast speed exits. We don't have a lot of downforce now that we've lost our front wing. And now we've got S1E3. You take a look up top. He's just about 0.3 of a second away. Signs pulling off into the pits. Ocon doesn't. He stays right behind us. So we're going to see if we can hold out for another lap or two. I think it's just one more lap, though, as now Ocon going to get the DRS. Will he be able to make a move? We're going to go to the inside, trying to block it off. Ocon going outside. He gets the move done really nicely here, but we able to hold on. He locks up on the front left. So we're going to stay side by side here through turn 2. We go on the outside. He's going to get a little bit better traction as we have little to no front wing. He takes it nicely there, but we end up getting a pretty solid exit. We don't take it well, though, on the next turn. We get the DRS, though, as he barely edged in front of us, so we might be able to go late on the brakes here as we kick it into overtake yet again. Very little battery left, but he is just too far away for us to be able to catch up. So it looks like we are now currently P10, but that's with pit stops being made here, scattered throughout the field. So we're going to be coming in shortly. We'll see where our effective position is once all the stops are done. So we're calling into Jeff there. We're going to box this lap. We've got Daniel Kvyat right behind us. He gets the DRS as well as we do, but he's got the slipstream behind us. Cuts the inside. Wasn't really expecting that. We go really late on the brakes, trying to see if we can hold the line, take it really wide, and with no front end, very hard to do. But we've got both AlphaTauris behind us, and somehow there's no accident there. It looks like we're too wide here going into the turn with Kvyat right behind Daniel Ricciardo trying to overtake us. Doesn't get it through the corner, so we kick it in a lean, and we're going to be able to cruise here through Sector 3 and hold on to the position quite nicely. So we're going to take it into the pits. It will be P10, but how far are we going to drop down the order thanks to the front wing that we have to change? So into the pits, it looks like Kvyat following us. Ricciardo's going to stay out. We get one of the Alfa Romeos, and it looks like one of the Racing Points as well. Sergio Perez behind us in the pits, right in front of us. We've got Esteban Ocon, so he came in even though he started to spread the gap on us. And Jack Aiken, he comes in once again. We really need to get our strategies in line. That's the second time this race that we are doubling up. We're running the same strategy. I understand that. But we've got to space it out. You can't double up in the pits. I mean, we just basically ruined Jack Aiken's day because of that, since we were the front runner in the race. If we were the other way around and we came in the same lap as Aiken, that'd be our race. We'd be done. We'd be totally out of it. So now we're going to enter into the racetrack. Nobody around us, thankfully, so we don't have to worry about racing right off the exit. We got Kimi Räikkönen once more in front of us. If anybody remembers back to Bahrain, we were competing with him for about the second half of the race for P4. And then we've got behind us Kevin Magnussen. So we're going to try and see if we can close up the gap with Räikkönen. But the straight line speed, very nice in that Alfa Romeo. So we'll see if we'll be able to keep up the pace through the corners. Moving ahead now to lap 20. We're going to try and make a move here on Räikkönen through the first sector, unable to. We get a little bit of wheel spin there out of the corner as we get into the DRS zone, so that's not going to be able. We're not going to be able to make the move here into the long turn. Actually, no, we look for the dive bomb. We're somehow going to pull that off as Kimi just doesn't take it well into the corner. So that is P16. Yeah, we're out of the points by a long shot, but we're just fighting for pride at this point as Grosjean now about a second up the road. We might be able to close this gap into the hairpin. But in front of him, we've got a Racing Point of Sergio Perez, and then we've got the other Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi. So we get some DRS, but he is just flying right now in that Haas. And here comes Kimi Räikkönen trying to look in the inside, doesn't have anything. So now looking to close in that gap on Grosjean and the cars in front. So now lap 21, we're going to try and get Romain Grosjean here coming up to the DRS zone. We take it a little wide through turn 2, but we've got yellow flags up ahead, and not sure what's going on. It looks like Giovinazzi slowing down. We get the DRS on Grosjean, but he gets it on Giovinazzi. It looks like the Alfa Romeo is out of this race. Kimi Räikkönen still trying to hang behind us, but we're going to look for the dive bomb on Grosjean. We did this on Räikkönen earlier. We can't get close enough, though. We can't force our way in, so we're going to look for it around this corner. Cutting it nice and narrow. We did this earlier, and it's almost going to work. He doesn't look for us, though. Bumps right into us. And now we're going to go on the back straight. We will get the DRS on him as Hamilton gets a fastest lap, but Kimi Räikkönen coming right back, slingshotting us around us, And there we go. Giovinazzi officially out of the race as he retires, but now coming towards the hairpin. Could we make this a 3 wide to the hairpin? We're going to look for the outside, but Raikkonen closes any opening. We try to take it wide anyway. We run up on the curb with a little bit of contact, it looks like, between Raikkonen and Grosjean, and we end up taking Grosjean. Grosjean drops 2 spots. Kimi goes up 2. What a move there on the back straight into the hairpin by Kimi Raikkonen to overtake 2 here on lap 21. We're trying to get closer. It doesn't look like Perez is going to be a thought here for us, as he's almost 5 seconds up the road now. But Kimi Raikkonen, we can definitely overtake him. We battle with him for a lot of Bahrain, so we'll see if we're going to be able to do it here in the closing laps. So here we are coming down the back straight, trying to see if we can close up to Kimi. Kimi's going to go into the corner. We're going to try and pull up right behind him. We've taken nice and quick. He gets a really rough exit there, getting some wheel spin, but it's not going to be enough for us to be able to go on the inside. We tried to look there for a moment, but just didn't have the exit we needed. We're going to look for the inside here. Almost bumping into Kimi, but we're going to hold the line through the S's here, and this is a really tough section to overtake as we end up getting the position, as we don't want to run too narrow with him and end up wiping both of us out of this race. We get another warning for a collision here, this time with Kimi. And now we're coming through the third sector. We will get the DRS, though, as we come into the penultimate corner. We're going to look maybe to take him on the start-finish straight. We come up to the corner. Grosjean starting to quickly approach. So he might actually both Haas's, Magnussen right behind him. And now onto the start-finish straight. We're not going to get close enough, as Kimi's going to be able to hold on to P14 for the moment being. We're going to try to look him on, to overtake him on the next DRS zone, though. So there we go, approaching the DRS zone. We're going to kick it into overtake and Rich. We have a little bit of fuel to work with. We have some battery for once, so we're going to really push it here. It's not going to be enough, but we're going to try the dive bomb. We take it quick into the inside, run the curb a little bit. Might have been a corner cut, but the stewards don't punish me for it. So we're going to move into now effective P14. It doesn't look like Sainz is going to be a possibility, as he is now 7 seconds up the road. Raikkonen really falling off there. So now we're just about a second away. He's going to start to close in this gap, but we might have enough room between us that we're going to be able to hold this position into the hairpin, and we can try to lose him through the third sector. So he's going to try and go wide on the hairpin. We go late on the brakes to compete with him side by side. We're going to have to really push it on the exit. He gets a little bit of a loose back end, it looks like, on the exit. He doesn't get the traction he needs. So we're going to be able to pull up here. It looks like we're going to hold on through the corner. Are we? He's going to go on the inside. Doesn't have the gap that he wants, so he ends up backing out of this one. So we get P14 through the third sector, closing into lap 24. Just 5 laps remaining here once we cross the line. It's going to be tough. Will we be able to pull off Kimi Raikkonen? So here we are, final lap of the race. We're going to try and hold off Kimi Raikkonen. He closed in the gap. We did end up getting a little bit of front wing damage because, again, I can't seem to take corners without going wide into the DRS zone. He's going to get the DRS. We are way behind Sergio Perez, 13 seconds away. So it's going to be a fight here. Will he be able to get us on the corner? He's going to go outside, doesn't have it. We try to block, and it ends up forcing us to have to go really deep into that corner. Now around the side here, we're going to go into the second DRS zone. But will we be able to hold off the speed of this Alfa Romeo? He's going to have the straight line speed on us, as well as the DRS and slipstream. He's really closing in that gap. We're kicking into overtake. We don't have a lot of fuel to work with, as we just have what's left in the tank here closing in. He goes outside. Is going to get us no problem whatsoever into the hairpin. We can't even look to the outside. He locks up both rear tires, and he's going to be able to pull away quite nicely here. We try to see if we can get the corner on the inside, but it's not going to happen. It's not meant to be. And so now it's just a question, can we hold off Kevin Magnussen? We are in P14, hoping to stay that way around the third sector here. And it looks like we're going to be able to keep on pretty nicely as we are putting, nope, he ends up closing the gap just a little bit, but now into the last few corners. He is right on our tail into the second to last corner. We go a little wide, but I think it's going to be okay as we come into the final corner. We are going to get P14 here at the first ever Vietnam Grand Prix. So here we are on the podium. Lewis Hamilton gets first place with Valtteri Bottas right behind, and then one of the Ferraris finishing in third place. So GG to the boys in the Silver Arrows. They continue some nice dominance here throughout the early season. But from us, P14, so not a terrible showing. So taking a look at the results here, so we finished P14 after starting in third. That's disappointing. Just some sloppy driving on my end. That's what led to that. Could have been a lot smoother, but that's all right. Taking a look at things, we had Daniel Ricciardo is driver of the day. He started in 15th, finished in 8th. Not too bad for him. Taking a look at other drivers, the Ferraris moving up to 5 and 6. Albon went from 11 to 7. But taking a look down here, Jack Aiken actually moved up. He got into 17th, so he passed the Williams. We had 3 DNFs, so really he finished in P20, but we'll call it 17 because where it ended up with DNFs. Taking a look at the driver standings, so we bumped down to 14th now, just 1 spot. And at the constructors, we stay in 8th with just 4 points. So it was a very hard-fought race today. We were really struggling for pace in the straights, and it showed so many times, getting blown by the top cars, and Raikkonen too a couple times. We just keep seeing going against him. I wish I would have had him for the option of my rival, because that would be an interesting rivalry. It seems that we're forming one pretty early on. Well, first off, it wasn't a great race. We ended up dropping back on so many positions, but there's no secret. It's just a great car and a great team. Let's see. It doesn't look like anything is good here. I don't want to make my team go down, so we're just gonna no comment. Yes, there is. All right, so with that, we wrap up our second race weekend. So in our rivalry here against Nicholas Latifi, we do pretty good. So we got 6 races remaining on that. We're beating him 6-3. Taking a look at Team Acclaim, we're going to be able to get another secondary sponsor, as it looks like Jack Aiken now 6 driver Acclaim, and we get level 5 Team Acclaim, so that's pretty good. We'll be able to bring in some more money. Let's take a look at how much money we have after this race weekend. We got all practice programs from XXY, so let's see what our cash total is. Nice damage deductions, because I can't seem to drive smooth. And we've got 1.27 mil, so we might be able to make some moves there. But we'll take a look at things in the next video. We're taking on China. We should have some pretty good upgrades going on the car, so we'll be able to see a little bit of a difference in performance. But thank you guys so much for joining me. If you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button down below and hit subscribe. Ring that notification bell so you can get notified when the next video goes up here for the F1 2020 career mode at NNG Motorsports. We're going to keep going through, hopefully be able to find another points finish at China. It's not too bad of a course, but it's a little bit wider, so I'm not going to have to worry about slamming into walls like I did here today. But my name has been Sparky. It's been a pleasure racing for you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video.